Hi, my name is Andrew, and welcome to my Aliexpress Shunbun. Yeah, this is going to be my attempt at doing a Grand Seiko Shunbun homage. Starting off with a lovely case, and has a pink inside crown. That's not the word I'm looking for, but never mind. And these are the hands. Spent quite a bit of money on these, about I think over £22. This is the piece de resistance. And what I'm trying to get to look like is one of these. These retail for about £6,500, I think. That's about $7,000. So, this is my AliExpress bits and pieces. I love the dial. It really is beautiful. I think it's almost as good as the Grand Seiko Shunbun, but I would say that. So there we go. This is the movement we're using, NH35A, with the date. It also has hard to find, but I found them, has pink numbers on a black background. I think it's pink. Well, they look pink to me. I could be colourblind, so they might not be, but hopefully not they are. So that should match in. Bracelet, lovely bracelet, really good quality. Screwed in links, just screwed on one side only, unlike an actual Grand Seiko, which has screws on both sides. But yeah, it's gonna hopefully attach nicely onto the case. You do buy them as one, so but they come in two pieces for whatever reason. But they do fit nicely together. But yeah, beautiful quality. Spent quite a bit of money on the case, about as much as I ever have on an AliExpress build. In all, in all, it's cost me around about £200. But I really do think you pay for what you get, and I really think the quality on these is top notch. Okay, so just again, just going through there. So let's get down to it and build ourselves a watch. First of all, let's get the let's get the movement into the dial holder and the movement holder. Sorry, it's not going to fit that way though because that's the wrong end. Yeah, that's better. Definitely going to fit in there. Yeah. So there we go. Nothing particularly special about this movement other than I say it has pink or what look like to be pink. Here's me struggling to get the the stem out, but yeah, it looks like they look like pink numerals on it. But I'll leave all the links in the description as usual. So yeah, that's the stem. I think we'll just put that on there for the time being. Keep it safe. So let's just wind it up, make sure that the movement actually does work. I'm actually using new finger buds for this one. So that's probably, like I say, it's probably the most I've ever spent on the build. So I want to try and do it correctly. Yeah, it's all ticking as it should. Right, let's get this beautiful dial out. I really am impressed with this. I think there's about 27 pounds. That'll be about $35. But worth, I feel anyway, worth every penny. Another holder for my collection. I'll pop that in the drawer. Right, let's get this one. Let's get this one into its size. Got my clippers, so we can clip off two of the legs, so we can get it into the NH35 movement. I think first of all, what I'll do is I'll get rid of this travel stem and put the actual stem in. It's a screw down crown, so it should give it some waterproof or water resistance anyway. But I don't have a depth gauge or I don't have like a pressure gauge, sorry, to find out or to test any of this. So I will not be taking it deep sea diving. In fact, if it ever sees a raindrop, it'll be a miracle. So just using my trusty stem holder, and let's get the crown on there. Just pop it in, make sure it's in properly, and make sure it's doing its job. Yep, changing the date. Just winding it forward to actually get it to the 12 o'clock position. And there we go. Right. So let's make sure. I should know which ones to cut off by this time, which leg goes where, but I have to check because I will do it wrong if it's possible to do it wrong. That's the lower of the two legs. Clip that one off. And just make sure it goes in the right position and check then for the next leg to come off. Now I don't want to pull this off, risk breaking the leg I've just put in. So I'll just use these hand removers, or hand remover, just to lever it up and make sure I'm going to cut the right one off. Again, just one last check, make sure I'm going to cut the right one. Which again should be the lower of these two. Right, let's see if we can get it on there. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's on. Really is stunning. Yeah. It's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but honestly, I just think it's superb. Right, let's see, have a look at the hands. I don't like these boxes. I know they protect them really well, but I'm not a big fan of them. I'm never entirely sure how you open them, or you just press that. Now, you notice what's happened there. When I've opened it, the second hand has slipped into the hinge. And I'm looking for it, thinking, well, where's it gone? Trying to get it to come out, but obviously it's terrified now that I'm going to break the second hand. I can see where it is, right in the hinge. And how am I going to get that out? Well, I'm going to have to try and gently, without doing too much damage, undo the hinge. Apologies for the headshot. At this point, I'm just thinking, if I break that second hand, these are the most expensive hands I've ever bought off from Aliexpress. But not just that, it takes forever to get them to come anyway. Please, I do not want to break this. And it's going to be a short video if I do. No, and I still can't get the blinking thing to come out. Have we got it? There it is. Whew! That was painful. Right, let's just, make sure they're still there. Let's get the second hand and put it onto the cellophane. Right, so we need to put the hour hand on. Get the trusty reticle. Trusty reticle. Now at this point, I am going to get the minute hand for whatever reason instead of the hour hand. There you are. Now I'm going to try and put the minute hand on when I should be putting the hour hand on. So I'll just speed that up a little bit. Yes, this is not my finest hour. So yeah, there we are, trying to put the minute hand on. And I'm thinking, it's not really going on correctly. Why is that? Because, Andrew, you're doing it incorrectly. But I like to show all the warts. It'd be easy enough on editing to try and pretend I know exactly what I'm doing. Thing is, I do know what to do, I don't always do it. It's going to take me a while to figure out I've actually put the wrong hand on, even though When I do go to move it, it does move. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, still trying to adjust it, even though it is the wrong hand. Just notice a few little specks of dust. Yeah, by this time I think I've realised I've actually put the wrong hand on. So I will be needing to take it off. Obviously we do not want to do any damage to this beautiful dial. So there we go. That's off. And let's see if we can do it right this time. Yes, there you go. The hour hand. What a numpty I am. Yeah, I'm going to change the end of that as well, make sure I get the right one. Yep, that's gone on nicely. I did notice one thing about these hands, and I did spend, I mean, normally it's £3 or £4 for hands from AliExpress, but spending this kind of a lot more money, sort of like, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 times what I normally spend on hands, they go on so much better. There's so much, the precision was like tenfold. Sometimes when you use the cheap hands, you're not even sure whether they're for the right movement sometimes. But these ones go on beautifully. So it just takes me a little time to line up the minute hand. Now I'm doing it correctly. And just press it down. Nope, that didn't work. Have we got it? I think we have. Yay! Yeah, they just go on so much better. Now when I'm binding it around, make sure I don't catch my thumb or my finger. Otherwise it always sends it out of alignment. Yep, it seems to be just about perfect. Again, just be careful I don't catch the my finger there. I'm just going to make sure that it does actually change the date as well. No reason why it shouldn't, but you never know. There we go. And yep, just before 12. I can live with that. Just make sure any bits and pieces of debris are off. Right. Now for the dreaded seconds hand, which I normally have so much trouble with. But let's see if the good quality hands make a difference with me putting the seconds hand on. I have a feeling it might. So I'm just giving my close-up spectacles a wipe. Just using the rudder code to get my seconds hand. Let's put this at 2 o'clock. I think it's always the best, that seems to be the best time I find for putting the second hand on. And hey presto, there you go. Didn't take long at all. I think my second or third attempt, which for me is a miracle because usually I'm here for half an hour, 45 minutes. But not this time, no. They were almost straight away. So very happy with that. Like I say, these are good quality. So we're forging ahead on this particular build. Just hope I haven't jinxed it. I'm sure I haven't. Right, next thing we have to do is case it. And then size up the stem. I've got my trusty nail file to the left there. Right, so we need to take the stem out. It is beautiful, isn't it? Can't stop looking at it. Just does so much in the light as well. Like I say, worth every penny. Right, let's get the stem out. I was a bit fiddly doing this when it's got the hands on the other side. There we go. Very carefully, don't want to hit the hands at all. Give it a good squirt with the head, get all the dust off, any dust that might be on. I did actually clean the desk down before I started doing this, just to make sure there was as little dust as possible. Get the back off the case. With the gasket. And again, let's give it a nice big squirt in here. Yes, I've just remembered the name for the the chapter ring, which is the chapter ring, which is pink. Yeah, look at that. 'Tis a thing of beauty. Really happy with that. That just looks fantastic. The only problem I'm going to have is trying to line up the markings on the dial with the markings on the chapter ring. I may have to come back and have a look at that again. But for the time being, let's pop the stem in and see if we can get it to size. Just making sure it's actually seated in there correctly. And just pressing down on the edges to make sure there's no gap between the chapter ring and the dial face. And the movement does fit really well in here as well. There's not like the cheap ones I bought in the past. This one, it just actually sit in there really well. I am just trying to shift it a little bit because it doesn't quite match up dial with the chapter ring. But again, I may have to come back to that. I think for now, let's get yeah, let's cut the gap. Just pop that over without the without the seal. Just keep any dust out. And let's cut this stem to size. As I always say, cutting a little bit is the way to do it. Because if you cut too much, you cannot go back. There we go. It is a guesstimate, I have to say. Let's get rid of any gnarly bits of metal on the end. Get rid of any bits of metal that might have been in it. And I'll pop and give it a test. So, not too far off, but it does need a little bit more to come off by the looks of it. It is a screw down crown, but there's not a massive amount of play on that screw down. Let's get it back out again. Keep the dust out. And get the crown off. So, really careful this time not to cut too much off. I have a feeling this should be just about it. Let's pop it in and see. Oh, yep, that looks good to me. Yep, there we go. Just winds in nicely. That's actually a really good fit. Quite happy with that. And it works with everything out. Yep, change the time. That winds it. Pull out for one little click and it should do the date. Yes, it does do the date. Lovely. It all appears to be the right way up, which is for me is a miracle. Right, quite happy with that. Just need to pop it out again and put a little bit of Loctite on. Just put a little bit of blue Loctite on. There we go, that should be enough. And just wipe off any excess. Let's make double sure. There we go. Oh yes, I need to put some grease on the gasket. Again, just in case it gets caught in any bad weather. Right. I'm just using the this little wooden tipped instrument just so I don't scratch anything. Just give the base a quick clean. Get rid of any debris. Or detritus, I think that was the word I found last time I was doing this. Yeah. Good old Bergen ball. Nice and tight. And there we go. Well, I'm really happy with that. And it's gone amazingly well. I think that's partly because if you spend the money, the parts do tend to go together very easily. Let's give it a quick clean. Got a little bit of grease on it, I think. Right, we'll need to get the bracelet on. So, I can always get confused as to which side to put the bracelet on, as in so that the clasp is in the right way. And as I'm about to prove, if you can get it wrong, I will. Oh, nearly lost it. So I compare it to the watch I have on, just to say, yeah, it's on that side. Yeah, definitely goes in this way. And yes, I've definitely got it on wrong. So I'll split it up for you so you don't have to go through too much of the pain with me. But yeah, and the bracelet does fit on really well. It's nice and tight. No play, or hardly any play at all. In fact, I think no play really on the bracelet, even though I do put it on the wrong way. So take my actual Grand Seiko off, put this new one on, and then I realize, yes, I have actually put it on the wrong way. So let's just take it off and put it on correctly. Not a massive mistake, but you know, I thought I'd show you do it anyway. And there you go, right the right way. That's on. Smashing. And there we go. But it's way too big. Now I've got big wrists. I've got 7.5-inch wrists. And this bracelet they've sent is huge. Normally, if on a cheaper build, I put that on and it fits because my wrists are usually at the maximum. But on this particular one, no, I need to take at least 2 links out and then possibly do a micro adjustment. Like I say, the screws go all the way through, so there's no sleeve or screw on the other side. So I'll just take a link out of each side. Yes, just having a little bit of trouble getting it centered so it goes all the way through to the other side of the bracelet. Okay. Right, let's take one off the other end, or the other side. So I did put this on the time grapher after this, and yeah, it's very accurate. Actually, it was about getting 2 seconds a day. Beat error was 0.3. Didn't really feel like messing around with it. I'm not an expert on that side of things. I can do basics on it, but I didn't want to mess around with it because it was working. And I think yeah, like I said, the figures were pretty good. So I'll just leave it as it is and not mess around with it too much. But there you go. My Aliexpress Shunbun homage. Put the two of them together. So on the right is my Lakeshore Dawn. That's an actual Grand Seiko, and that's not a homage. And honestly, the difference between these two is minimal. Yes, there is differences, but you know, one I spent £200 on, one I spent, I think it was something like just close to £8,000 on. And yes, you get a much better movement, and the hands were slightly better, I would say, on the Grand Seiko. But that was about it. there really wasn't a massive amount of difference between the two. I just think for the money, why wouldn't you? It scratches an itch for me. I did want a Shunbun, but I don't want to spend that kind of money on it. Don't really have it anymore. I'm retired now. But side by side, I know one's a lace shewer and one's a Shunbun, but as far as a Grand Seiko goes, if I put Grand Seiko on the dial, I don't think that anybody would know that much about it. But there you go. That's it done. I will do a little comparison of the two, but that'll be in a different video. Thanks for watching.